You mention a pair of running shoes out loud, just once, to a friend. 10 minutes later, an ad for that exact pair shows up in your feed. You never typed it. You never searched it. So how did your phone already know? The obvious answer feels obvious. Your phone must be listening. Sitting in your pocket, microphone open, quietly recording everything you say and feeding it to advertisers. Almost everyone believes this. Almost everyone has a story just like the shoes. It feels too precise to be a coincidence. But here's the strange part. It's not true. Not because companies wouldn't want to do it. They would, in a heartbeat, if it were the easiest way to sell you something. It's not true because listening to you is actually the hard way to do it. And once you see why, the real answer becomes a lot more unsettling than a hidden microphone. Let's start with the belief itself, because it's worth taking seriously before we tear it apart. Researchers have tested this claim directly. They've built phones specifically to catch an app in the act, wired them to monitor every byte of data leaving the device, then sat in front of those phones and talked, on purpose, about products they had never searched for. Dog food. Specific vacations. Random brand names. Over and over, across thousands of hours of monitored audio, the pattern never showed up. No spike in data usage during conversations. No audio quietly slipping out to ad servers. No evidence, anywhere, of a phone secretly recording your voice to sell you sneakers. So why does it feel like it's happening? Here's the part nobody tells you: your phone doesn't need to hear you. It already knows you better than a microphone ever could. Think about what your phone actually collects, all day, without ever recording a single word. Every app you open. Every website you visit. Every search, even the ones you deleted. Every location your phone pings from, dozens of times a day, whether you're using an app or not. Every Wi-Fi network you connect to. Every purchase that syncs through an email receipt. Every second you pause on a video before scrolling past it. None of this is a secret recording. It's just exhaust. The digital residue of an ordinary day, collected constantly, by dozens of companies at once. Now here's where it gets interesting. Each of those companies gives your phone something called an ad ID. Think of it as a name tag, except instead of your real name, it's a string of random numbers. That number follows you across apps. It's how a shopping app and a weather app and a game you downloaded once can all quietly agree they're looking at the same person, without ever knowing your actual name. On its own, one ad ID isn't much. But stitched together across hundreds of apps, over months and years, it becomes something else entirely. A profile. A shape of you, built one data point at a time, until it's detailed enough to predict what you'll want before you fully wanted it yet. This is where the shoes come back in. You didn't search for running shoes. But did your friend? Almost certainly, yes, sometime in the last few days. And here's the piece most people miss completely: your phone and your friend's phone were in the same place at the same time. Same Wi-Fi network at the coffee shop. Same GPS coordinates for an hour. Advertisers have a term for this. They call it colocation. If two devices show up in the same place often enough, the systems start treating them as connected. Linked. Part of the same small social cluster. So when your friend searches for shoes, and then spends an afternoon standing next to your phone, the algorithm doesn't need your search history at all. It just needs to know that people who behave like you, in situations like this, tend to want the thing your friend just wanted. That's not eavesdropping. That's forecasting. And forecasting is a different kind of powerful. Eavesdropping only works in the moment. It has to catch you saying the word, right then, or it misses the opportunity entirely. Forecasting doesn't wait for the moment. It builds a model of who you are from thousands of tiny signals, then predicts the moment before it happens. This is the part worth sitting with for a second. A system trained on millions of other people's behavior can often guess what you want faster than you can consciously decide you want it. Not because it's magic. Because you are, in most ways that matter to an algorithm, less unique than you think. Your habits rhyme with the habits of people just like you. And once a system has seen enough people like you, predicting you gets easier every day. There's a name for this too. Advertisers call it a lookalike audience. It works exactly the way it sounds. Find 10,000 people who already bought a product. Study everything they have in common, the apps they use, the times they're online, the neighborhoods they live in, the other things they've bought recently. Then scan for anyone else who matches that pattern closely enough. You don't have to do anything for your name to land on that list. You just have to resemble, statistically, a group of strangers who already made a decision. Multiply this across every product category, running constantly, updating in real time, and you get something that looks a lot like a phone that's always listening. Except it never needed to listen at all. Why does this matter more than the microphone theory, not less? Because a listening phone would actually be a smaller problem. It would only know what you say out loud, in range of a mic, when the feature happened to be active. A predictive profile knows more than that. It knows what you do when you say nothing. It knows the pause before you almost bought something and didn't. It knows the 3 a.m. searches you closed out of immediately. It knows who you stand next to, how long you linger on a screen, which version of an ad makes your thumb slow down for half a second longer. None of that requires your voice. All of it requires is your behavior, and behavior is much harder to hide than speech. So the next time an ad feels impossibly specific, here's the more accurate story running underneath it. Somewhere, a system noticed a pattern that included you, a friend, a location, or a habit you didn't know you had. It didn't hear a word. It didn't need to. It simply noticed that you look, on paper, like thousands of people who already wanted the thing showing up on your screen right now. That's the twist worth remembering. The fear was always that something was listening in secret. The truth is stranger, and in some ways bigger. Nothing had to listen, because everything was already being watched, quietly, constantly, in the form of location pings and app opens and purchase receipts you forgot you ever made. The microphone was never the story. The story was how much of you can be reconstructed without it. So you mention a pair of shoes once, out loud, to a friend. And the ad appears, not because your phone heard you say it, but because it already knew, long before you did, that you were exactly the kind of person who would.